Welcome to Great Guitarist of the Rock Era. He's the six-string sorcerer behind some of the most intricate and powerful metal riffs of the 1980s and beyond. A guitarist whose precision and technical prowess helped shape the sound of progressive metal. Today we're diving into the career of Michael "Whip" Wilton. Before we get started, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell for more stories. Michael Wilton was born on February 23rd, 1962, in San Francisco, California, but he grew up in Bellevue, Washington, where his love for music began at an early age. At the age of 8, he inherited a bass from his uncle who had died in a motorcycle accident. He acquired a nylon string guitar from his aunt after the family moved to Washington. He began listening to his father's record collection. His early influences were the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Jimi Hendrix, Mountain, the Allman Brothers, and Lou Reed. While in junior high school, he sent away for a mail-order Les Paul copy in a fuzz box. He bought a guitar book and began learning the basics. I began playing bass in some garage bands and soon took over the guitar position because I could play Led Zeppelin tunes, he states. In high school, he started to listen to bands like Judas Priest, UFO, Iron Maiden, and Van Halen, and began practicing a minimum of 2 hours a day. Then I met Chris DeGarmo, and the two of us played in several garage bands, most notably Joker and Crossfire, he says. After high school, he attended Cornish College, where he studied jazz and classical music. Chris and I met Scott Rockenfield and Eddie Jackson and began collaborating on original music as well as some cover tunes. We played some parties and roller rinks with different singers, calling ourselves the Mob. But we were never satisfied with that direction, he says. Then we met Jeff Tate and asked if he would be interested in recording a demo of some original tunes. So in the summer of 1982, they recorded 4 songs during the graveyard hours at Triad Studios in Redmond, Washington. After the cassette EP got some attention from a local music store, they decided to press a small number of EPs on their own. They signed a deal with Harris Management and changed the band name to Queensryche. The self-titled 4-song EP would be released in 1983, bursting onto the scene, showcasing a young but ferocious band ready to take on the world. Wilton's riffing on Queen of the Reich set the tone for the band's signature sound, blazing dual harmonies and searing leads. The Warning a year later in 1984 took their sound even further into progressive territory. Songs like Take Hold of the Flame and Enforce featured Wilton's refined yet aggressive playing, solidifying him as a force in the metal world. 1986's Rage for Order pushed boundaries with a futuristic sound and complex arrangements. Wilton's work on Walk in the Shadows and Surgical Strike brought in a darker, more intricate style that elevated the band's artistic depth. In 1988 came the game changer, Operation Mindcrime. Hailed as one of the greatest concept albums in metal history, Wilton's playing on tracks like Revolution Calling, Spreading the Disease, and Eyes of a Stranger perfectly captured the album's cinematic intensity. With Empire in 1990, Queensryche hit commercial gold. Wilton's playing on songs like Empire, The Thin Line, and Jet City Woman brought the band mainstream recognition, proving his versatility. With Promised Land in 1994, the band took a more introspective, experimental turn. Key songs, I Am I, and Bridge showcased a deeper, more atmospheric side to the band. The late 90s saw a grunge influence shift with Here in the Now Frontier in 1997, while a departure from their progressive roots, tracks like Sign of the Times and You still showed Wilton's playing was still at the top of his game. With Q2K in 1999, Queensryche embraced a modernized sound. Though not as revered as past albums, Wilton's guitar work on Falling Down and Sacred Ground kept the fire burning. Tribe in 2003 marked a return to a more progressive style. Songs like Open and Desert Dance showed Wilton adapting to a heavier, groove-oriented approach. Wilton would form a side project, Soulbender, and release the self-titled debut album in 2004. It would be re-released in 2014 with 4 bonus tracks. Queensryche returned to Operation Mindcrime in 2006 with Mindcrime 2. Wilton's shredding on I Am American proved that he could still deliver intricate, high-energy solos. 2009's American Soldier took on a concept exploring the stories of war veterans. Wilton's work on Sliver and The Killer blended emotion with technical brilliance. Dedicated to Chaos was released in 2011 and marked an experimental departure, but Wilton's melodic textures on Get Started remained a highlight. Following a major lineup change, Wilton took a leading role in the band's sound. The self-titled 2013 album brought back a classic Queensryche feel with tracks like Where Dreams Go to Die, proving he still had plenty of fire left. Subsequent albums like Condition Human in 2015 and The Verdict in 2019 continued to showcase his dynamic playing, blending the classic twin guitar harmonies with modern production. Queensryche's latest release, Digital Noise Alliance, was released in 2022. It further cemented Wilton as a master of his craft, delivering epic solos like on the track Behind the Walls. Wilton put together another side project and released Whip Volume 1 in 2024. Queensryche are currently out on tour in 2025, where Wilton has spent over 4 decades pushing the boundaries of metal and progressive rock. From his blazing riffs in the 80s to his continued dominance today, he remains an inspiration to guitarists worldwide. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments which Michael Wilton solo is your favorite. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more legendary guitarist spotlights. And as always, keep rocking.